I mean, that's obviously in the relatively near future. And we've spoken about moments that you're proud of. What about personally? Like a personal proudest achievement of your own? Because everything we're getting out of this is, I'm dead proud of my fighters, I'm dead proud of the attitude of people. We don't talk about you as yourself. Like, you must have a moment that's just yours that you're like, yeah, that was me. I was at my peak then. I'm dead proud of that.
It's a bit of Luke Atkins one.
Yeah.
Luke Atkins to sort of headline Motorpoint Arena, and I was co-main event under Lee Froch for the EBF where I fought Paul Stevenson, and I didn't get the decision. But then we knew we was fighting Luke Atkins 10 weeks later, and I had to go up 2 weight classes, and he was like 2-weight world champion, knocked everybody out in 4 rounds. Just unstoppable. Shane Smith off Channel 4 Debt Collectors, he was coaching him because obviously the BKB side to it. Yeah. This dude was an absolute killer and a monster. But I can remember getting the offer, and I was like, what do I do? And I'm thinking, am I getting used as cannon fodder? I rung Rob Watson, my coach, so he took me on after Rich, because obviously Rich is amateur, and he started getting me moving. We started moving, and we just went back to the martial arts, and we went back to a different aspect of using my main attributes, which was speed and movement, as well as tucking up, taking a shot, because I've never been knocked out. So in 30 years, that's another proudest moment.
That's very much an achievement, that is.
So we had a plan in place. Rob told me on the phone we can do it. He then came here. He could tell I was nervous, which I was, and I was still questioning it, and I'll never forget it. He turned, he was stood in the ring, he turned, he looked down, I was getting warmed up, and he says, listen, he says, we can do this. And I switched on at that point, and I knew we was going to win that fight. And we did. So it took him 8 rounds, and we beat him convincingly. So it's probably the proudest moment. One of my daughters walked me out on the stage. We had the big stage. We had Fat Man Scoop perform before I walked out, and it was a spectacle. And to go from that, after 8 years after I was laid in a hospital bed after I'd been stabbed 9 times and told I'd never fight again, to then 8 years later walking out down a ramp at Motorpoint Arena where there were 5,000 people in an arena where there's like other famous people's fought, and I was main event, is without a doubt sort of my proudest moment.
And no one can take that away from you.
And I've got that now. And then, like I say, I've got a canvas up in the ring where I jumped onto the top rope, and I'm doing the Randy Orton with the belt, holding the belt up like Randy Orton, because I love Randy Orton.
Good lad.
And my friend, who's now sadly, he passed away. That's another part of the story. Like Daz Inks, he committed suicide. He was one of my best mates, without a doubt. He took the photo of me holding my belt up from the crowd, and I visualised that image 6 years previous, and I wrote it down in a diary.
So that image that's on the canvas in there, Daz took that?
Daz Inks took that, my mate who committed suicide. And he lived here, we lived with me for 2.5 years, and he was in a bad place, bless him. So yeah, I'd like to think I helped him through it, and but unfortunately he decided to take his own life. But he gave me that on my birthday as well, so he wrapped it up, and I'll never forget it, because as I opened it, it then took me back to writing in this diary. I think it was something like 6 or 7 years previous, and when I visualised, where I was asking myself questions: will I fight again? I've always missed out on the belts. Will I fight for a title? Will I fight in an arena? And I answered all them questions, yes. But the visualisation, it was the Randy Orton of holding the belt above his head. And then he took that photo, and that's
and he didn't know about that?
Didn't know nothing about it. Didn't know nothing about it. So that's why it's up in the gym. It's not an arrogance or an ego thing. That reminds me of him. It's
a bittersweet story. It's a nice story in a bittersweet kind of way.
Yeah.
And I think what I'm getting from this interview, that I hope everyone else is getting from it as well, is that you're such a positive, inspirational person, but the story has been peppered with these real tragic moments.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next? As I said, the 30-year anniversary. Yeah. I assume you're done with the whole fight. I assume there's no more Neil Huntley fights.
Yeah. No, I say no every time. I just get tempted to eat. I'm waiting for an operation on my elbow.
Right.
And I say every time, and I say Sasha, my daughter, she says, that's it. And I'll say every time, no more, that's it, I'm done. and then I always end up coming out of retirement.
Yeah, get the itch.
But it's there's still sort of fights there. That's the
Is there
problem.
still something written down in the diary, or the diary that's in the head that hasn't been ticked off yet?
No, there's one, but the problem is I have sort of ticked it off, but I weren't happy with the way I got ticked off. But the boxing side to it, there's still sort of names there that keep popping up, and it's like there's another one that I think he's just come out of retirement again now for a 2-fight deal with EBF, sort of Vinny Glover, and like I got offered it for this one in 2 weeks, but I can't because of the injuries I've got. So it's like, all right, there's another one, end it here. So it's like, oh no. But it's the problem you've got is I'm a fighter.
Mm-hmm. Fighter by trade.
Yeah, fighter by trade. My slogan is hashtag fighter by trade, and I do it every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If my body, but at some point you do have to understand that you can't. No, I can't train a fight camp for 8 weeks like I used to. We have to work around things. Sean always takes control of my strength and conditioning. He's a physio. He does all my sports massage. It keeps me in one piece the best way he can. It's like the scene out of Rocky when it right. You can't lift. You can't throw a punch. You can't do this. So they replace it with stuff. Yeah. That's what we have to do when I do a fight camp. So. But I like it. I feel alive. I shouldn't be here. There's 3 instances now that's happened through the process of my journey why I should not be sat here right now. But I am. So I will take every opportunity that's given to me. But I have also got to be sensible. It is also, I've got my job to think. I'm padding, I'm coaching, I've got a massive responsibility to look after this team.
Yes.
And I could not be prouder of that. Do you know what I mean? That's my responsibility. I know that's why I'm put on this earth. I know that's what my purpose is. If it lasts for another year or if it lasts for another 10 years, I know I've achieved sort of what in my little small bubble is greatness.
I think that is the perfect way to end this interview.
Yeah.
And if anyone watching this must be getting some inspiration out of this, man. If not, come down to the gym. Sean Neal will talk to you. Investigate more. Come down to a show. But just for now, until we get to do this again, Mr. Neal Huntley.
Bro, thanks, Bob.
Hey, man, no bother.
Awesome.
No bother.